Welcome to Flux, the energy show that's all about helping you to become a smarter energy consumer. We are on an energy mission and we are excited to have you along for the ride. Now let's begin. You turn over in the morning, the first thing you grab is your phone. Is it charged? Is it dead? You wake up in the middle of the night. Are you sweating? Are you comfortable? Now you're watching a movie with a family. Can you finish the movie without losing power? Whether or not we have access to reliable power makes a big difference in our lives. There's just so much that reliable power can do for us. From comfort to peace of mind. From entertainment opportunities to business opportunities. Power is a game changer.
Hey everyone, it's Rotimi Thomas, co-founder at Aspire Power Solutions, back at it again. And on this episode of Flux, I'll be teaching you how to estimate how much electricity an appliance uses so you can decide whether to invest in a more energy efficient system. You may be wondering why this is important. Well, oftentimes, especially here in Nigeria, you may hear people complain about receiving electricity bills that seem expensive, i.e., they don't feel they're getting value for their money. This could be as a result of the inability to track your power usage. As we all know these days, data is actually power. Determining how much electricity your appliances and home electronics use can help you understand how much money you are spending to use them. So, let's dive deeper into this topic. There are several ways to estimate how much electricity your appliances and home electronics use. First, reviewing the energy guide label is crucial. The label provides an estimate of average energy consumption and costs to operate the specific model of the appliance you are using. Not all appliances or home electronics are required to have an energy guide. You want to check this out to figure out the power rating of each appliance in your home. Once you've done this across the board, you can then total up your maximum power load measured in watts, or what's known as kilowatts. But not all appliances are used normally at the same time, so you need to try to take this into account when adding up your devices. When you multiply the power rating of each device by the amount of time you use the device for, you get either watt hours, as in watt times hours, or you get kilowatt hours. You know, this is that weird number that you see on your Echo Disco bill, but you're always wondering, what does this sign mean? The same thing. It's just that 1 kilowatt is actually equals to 1,000 watts. So this is actually very important for you to understand when you're dealing with power. Once you know the kilowatt hours of each appliance, you can easily add this up to estimate your daily, monthly, and annual energy consumption. Another way of adding up your power demand is using an electricity usage monitor to get the readings of how much electricity an appliance actually uses. There's a cool one I've personally used several times called Effergy. That's EFERGY. These monitors actually track your entire electricity consumption in your home and enable you to log in to track your consumption pattern digitally. One option provides you an alarm system that is actually triggered when your consumption exceeds certain levels in the home or the building. I actually use this to figure out, for example, when too many air conditioners or appliances have been turned on in my home. When it's triggered, everybody at home knows what time it is. They move to switch off unnecessary appliances. Kya. The point is that it doesn't always create a situation where I need to then manually estimate my energy needs. It does all the work for me. All I need to do is log in and I instantly see my daily, monthly, or annual energy consumption without doing any work. Who know like Betatin? Okay, another option is buying individual energy monitoring devices to accurately capture your energy consumption on each specific device. Single device electricity usage monitors, as we're going to call them on this episode, are easy to use and can measure the electricity usage of any device that runs on 120 volts. But it can't be used with large appliances, for example, that use 220 volts, such as electronic clothes dryers, central air conditioners, or even water heaters. You can actually buy these electricity usage monitors at most hardware stores, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to find. To find out how many watts of electricity a device is using, simply plug the monitor into the electrical outlet the device is using, and then plug the device into the monitor. It will display immediately how many watts the device actually uses. If you want to then know how many kilowatt hours of electricity the device uses in an hour or a day or longer, just leave everything set up and read the display later on. Now, to find the annual energy consumption of a product or a device, as well as the cost to operate it, estimate the number of hours per day an appliance runs. There are a couple of ways to do this. A rough estimate method is when you know about how much you use an appliance every day. You can simply take this rough estimate, look at the number of hours it runs for, and that gives you a sense of how much you use it for. For example, if you know you normally watch about 4 hours of television each day, you can use that number to estimate how many hours you use a 100-watt television for example, and you get 400 watt hours when you multiply 4 hours times 100 watts, for example, a big TV or something of that nature. If you know you run your whole house fan for 4 hours every night before shutting it off, as another example, you can use that number, for example, to multiply that by the power rating of the fan, and then you'll actually get the energy consumption over a period of time. Watt hours or kilowatt hours is essentially energy times time. To estimate the number of hours that a refrigerator actually operates, and this is key, listeners, at its maximum wattage, divide the total time the refrigerator is plugged in, typically by 3, because refrigerators, although turned on all the time, at least that's what people think they need to do, they actually cycle on and off as needed to maintain interior temperature. So fridges don't actually just pump out electricity or use electricity all the time. They actually cycle on and off because it's about cooling the things that need to be cooled. Now, you need to keep a log of these records over a period of time to establish your energy consumption trend over a period of time. Taking an instantaneous power reading is about an instantaneous snapshot. It's like a balance sheet. It only shows you how much you're using at a specific point in time. But when you do this over a period of time, then you actually are able to capture your energy consumption pattern over a period of time, say a day or a week or a month or a year. And that establishes the trend, which helps you figure out your annual, monthly, daily, or even weekly costs. It may be practical for you to keep a usage log for some of these appliances. For example, you could track the cooking time each time you use your microwave, your computer, watch your television, or leave a light on in a room or the outdoors. If you choose to use the first method of checking the power rating of each piece of equipment yourself, keep the following in mind when searching for the wattage. There are a few ways to find the wattage of appliances, and believe you me, I've done it a number of times. It's not always easy to figure out. Stamped on the appliance, you'll typically see some information. The wattage of most appliances is usually stamped on the bottom or the back of the appliance or on its nameplate. It's usually some kind of a sticker that shows you some weird-looking inscriptions or writing. It may look like a different language to you. Trust me, it's about power. The wattage listed is the maximum power drawn by the appliance typically. Many appliances have a range of settings, so the actual amount of power an appliance may consume depends on the setting actually being used. For example, a radio set at a high volume uses more power than one that's probably set at a low volume. It's just the way energy systems are built. A fan set at a higher speed may consume more power than one that's set at a lower speed. So these things also vary, but looking at the nameplate rating just gives you a sense of how much average energy draw you can expect from these systems. Multiply the appliance amperage if you can't find the wattage rating by the usage of the appliance voltage, and that will also give you a sense of the watts power draw from the system if you can't specifically find watts or kilowatt rating of power draw on the appliance. Okay, if the wattage is also not listed, another thing you can do is you can still estimate it by finding the electrical current draw in amperes, as I just mentioned, and multiplying that by the voltage used by that appliance. Once again, that equals watts, and that enables you to then calculate over a period of time, say 1 hour or 2 hours, by multiplying it by that time to figure out how much watt hours or kilowatt hours. Remember, kilowatts is simply 1,000 watts, essentially, right? So if you divide that, you're able to figure out your kilowatt hours if that variable or if that number sounds more comfortable for you. Most appliances in the United States use 120 volts. Larger appliances such as clothes dryers and electric cooktops, they use 240 volts. A lot of what we use in Nigeria actually 220-ish kind of volt range. So just keep that in mind in case you're bringing in appliances from the US or other places in the world that use a different volt range. You might need a transformer or one of those small transformers to convert it into something that works within your home or your building. The amperes might still be stamped on the unit in place of the wattage. So just once again, keep all of this in mind when you're looking to calculate this manually by yourself and you're looking at the stickers on the back of equipment. Specific device monitors are especially useful for finding the amount of kilowatt hours used over any period of time for devices that don't run constantly, like refrigerators. Some monitors will let you enter the amount of utility charges per kilowatt hour and provide, therefore, an estimate of how much it costs to run the device since it was plugged into the monitor directly. That's awesome. I love that. It simplifies the work for you. You don't have to do too much thinking. I always say, uno like better thing. If you want more detailed data on your home's energy use, you might also do the following. The ability to measure the energy using the voltage of appliances is also very important, and it's also something that you need to be able to do. I like the FRG system as an energy monitor for my home. It allows me to do the things that we discussed earlier in this podcast and actually sets off an alarm when people exceed the set power rating, which I don't want them to go above, and allows people to know what time it is and react very quickly. The features of these systems vary, and the cost and complexity depends on the number of circuits you want to monitor and the level of power equipment that you want to actually monitor as well. One that works for whole communities is something like the Shift Connect system by our partners at Shift Power Solutions that actually enables you to monitor an entire residential or commercial community from one device and one dashboard and monitor your electricity consumption, even your diesel energy consumption if you use that as well, and it tracks it over time and does it very simply in a digital manner. The monitors are often installed directly in the main breaker panel of a home, and some may require an electrician to install as well. Some monitors must be connected with your home's wireless network and data viewed on a computer or smartphone, while others come with a dedicated display. In addition to providing information on the energy consumption of your appliances, these monitors help you understand where and when you use the most energy, allowing you to develop strategies to reduce your energy use and costs. Whichever way you decide to go, ensure you do it safely. Remember, safety first always, especially when it comes to power. Remember also, data is king when it comes to saving money on energy consumption. This means you can't save what you don't measure. So it all starts with capturing your consumption data and the patterns. Okay, we can talk about this topic all day, and you know me, I like to talk, but we do have to run now. So, as always, my name is Rotimi Thomas, and thank you for listening to this episode of Flux, and I will definitely catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Flux. We're excited to be with you on your journey to reliable power in Nigeria. Now, whether it's at home or at work, ensuring that you have power is our full-time job. We're here to help make that job a little easier for you. Do not forget, you can hit us up across any of our socials, that is on Instagram or Twitter, at APS_Africa or at Africa Business Radio.